Hello all. Crazy bull markets have crazy IPOs, humongous number of IPOs coming in and getting priced at crazy valuations. That's a norm. Now, whether we go back to .com, it was a scenario, and now currently there is this term what I've called digital 2K20 bull market, which is going on, and at the core of it, the leader is nothing but large scale computing, infinite computing. It's nothing but cloud computing. And I have done many videos around cloud computing, and many businesses have analyzed around cloud computing. But today I'm going to talk about one which is not yet in the public domain, but I've heard that they have filed for IPO and it's going to soon hit the market. And it is the future. It could very well be the future of the cloud computing and the data. As they say, the future is all about data. Data is the new oil. There are many terms coined around that, but Snowflake is what the company I'm talking about is going to be a big red hot IPO, because they deal with the data specifically built from scratch, targeting for the entire data space, including data warehousing, data mart, and analytics and everything. And Snowflake has brilliant partnerships with many of the existing data incumbent players as well. Here is a video report I have analyzed deep in what Snowflake does, and take a look. So this is a report. Before we proceed, a small disclaimer that this is no way a recommendation of Snowflake or the IPO subscription. It is more to do with analysis of how well Snowflake is doing in terms of the new age digital and cloud technology. And as I say, data is a new oil, and Snowflake could have a significant impact in the future of data for the digital businesses. Now, coming to this, core business of Snowflake's, what they have done differently. So, data used to exist in terms of data lake, data marts, data warehouses. All of them used to exist differently. I mean, at least till date, and that's a current state. And all of them were legacy. Now, what's happening is Snowflake has gone ahead and made a one platform, an integrated platform for all enterprises data. And Snowflake can be your data warehouse, it could be the data mart, it can be the data lake. So it has, you can see in the picture that they have integrated it all together in one platform. Now, the data sources could be your databases, OLTP databases, your applications, third-party logs, Internet of Things, all kind of ETL streaming. All the data gets ETL streamed into the platform, the underlying cloud. So you look at this. So it could be seamlessly integrated with any of the cloud players, whether it's AWS, Google Cloud, or Azure, and it's agnostic of the cloud infrastructure, but they can integrate, and you have data science, data exchange, engineering, everything in the platform. Now the output could be for the data consumers, operational reporting, ad hoc analysis, real-time analytics, and all of that. Now, what is the USP of Snowflake? Put in very simple term, all the other all the other so-called cloud data warehouses were designed 20 years back, and they have been moved to cloud. But truly, they were not able to leverage the scalability of the cloud. Now, what these guys have done is their USP is they have built from scratch for cloud, and that's how they have come up with, and it is evident in the way that scalability is tuning out to be. Now, here are the leaders who created this company. It's Frank Slootman, who is the CEO and chairman currently. And there are founders like Benoit Dachville, Thierry Cranes, and Marcin Zugowski. And Snowflake, it's a data warehouse built on Amazon Web Services. So the Snowflake itself was built on AWS Cloud. And it's the data as a service, or DBaaS, so-called data warehouse as a service segment of the cloud. Now, Frank Slootman, coming to talk about him, the current CEO, he was also the ServiceNow CEO and president from, I think, 2011 to 2017, and he took the organization from around $100 million in revenue to $1.4 billion through an IPO. And we all know where ServiceNow is now today. They are like $60 billion plus market capitalization, huge. And so Snowflake was positioned as a leader in Gartner's 2019 Magic Quadrant for data management solutions for analytics reports. So this is something I track. Gartner is one good source, like Forrester Wave is another, where you could find how the company is positioning in terms of the leadership in the segment is. Three particular things that make Snowflake unique. It's a multi-clustered shared data architecture across any cloud. So it can easily scale up and down, creating that elasticity of the computing power which is required for any number of workloads across users and across any combinations with cloud. Now all of them still access the same single copy of the data, so it's a single source of truth, and the resources can be still utilized and pay only for what is being used. It's a subscription model that they're talking about. Now, secure data sharing and collaboration is more secure data sharing, and it could be shared across enterprises, across structured and semi-structured data could be moved within the enterprise, between the enterprise, with customers, business partners, or you could monetize the data. The third aspect is one, platform which is near zero maintenance, delivered as a service. So it's almost zero maintenance, and you could choose any combination of infrastructure providers and put your workloads what you want there, and Snowflake can seamlessly integrate. Now, Snowflake has built a great partner ecosystem, which I would call it as one of the success factor for their, growth. And they have been successfully uh, building this partner ecosystem. They called recently launched it just a month ago. They called it a Snowflake Partner Network to expand the existing partnership offerings and leverage the power of partners. Now you could see here AWS, as I said, all the clouds are there. VMC, you have Informatica, which is a data lake partner they had chosen for the year 2020. Then Looker, which was acquired by, I think, Google, and then there is Tableau, which is it's a software for analytics, business intelligence, and then there's Salesforce for the CRM. All sort of platforms. I think this partner ecosystem is brilliant. They have chosen Click, which was a data engineering partner in the year 2020. So that was their data engineering partner. It's a good firm again. So these are the partner ecosystems, and next is these are the set of customers they have. You could see all the brilliant customers, you all the marquee names in this flow, and that's a customer list they have. Now, this is a very interesting report. Snowflake. I mean, this report is I've taken exactly from Okta site. Okta does this research and proposes report, showing indicating the fastest growing apps across verticals, business verticals, and category waves. And so, a few years ago, it was Zoom and Slack, with the Slack platforms, which are collaborative platforms, which were the leaders. And now the dimensions are changing, and you can see that it's more number of data players and analytics players, which is in the top 10. You could see that Zoom has gone to the 10th, and Snowflake had a whopping 273% year-on-year growth in consumption. And this was a big year of first for Snowflake, as Okta calls it. Okta, by the by, is the identity access management provider for security for cloud, which is another brilliant firm doing the great work. And Snowflake was also named as a leader in the Gartner, as we spoke in the previous slide, for data management solution for analytics. So you could see here this is an interesting report one needs to track, because it shows the growth strategy in the spectrum of across the spectrum of IT in technology development. So you see Snowflake is a leader, and then Opsgenie, I think Twill team Atlassian owns this. Then there is Google Cloud Platform, Splunk. It's again an analytics player, data cruncher, and also monitoring and all of that with logging capabilities. Then Looker is another data player, which was acquired by Google Cloud, and it's a data discovery tool. And then Zoom is there in the list. So you have at least 2 to 3 data players in this top 10. So this is some trend that you need to note. Now, all is great. What about the valuations, and how are they going to list this IPO? So Snowflake had raised 1.4 billion in VC funding, including a 479 million dollar earlier this year, which priced the company at 12.5 $4 billion. Salesforce was a main investor last time, and Salesforce is a humongous data use set used on Snowflakes, and it is really cumbersome to get that data onto Snowflake, including latency issues. So they want to get over that. So they forged this partnership through fundraising. They wanted the more than the capital. They wanted the partnership with Salesforce. That's how they raised a fund. Now they generated a revenue of $100 million in 2019, growing at 174%. Look at that. Now that is not it's difficult to digest such kind of growth. And the company has exhibited very high net revenue retention rate. So this is a very important factor. What it means is that their average customer close to doubles in consumption on an annual basis. That is, the existing customers are spending almost 2 times than the last year on their platform, which is a great factor to note in the high retention rate. And they have a cash of around $1 billion in hand, which is great. Now they are also going to come with an IPO, which will further raise more capital for them. Now it'll be valued at around $20 billion at IPO. That is the rumors to go by. We don't know what price they're going to list it, but it is going to be a bumper listing with estimated growth rate of 200% in FY20. So the COVID-19 pandemic has aggravated the growth even further, and it's accelerated the growth, and it's around 200% growth year on year. So it could very well be 250 to $300 million revenue in the coming year. And at the IPO, Snowflake can be valued at 7 to 8 times sales, which is reasonable compared to the existing valuations, which is very scary, steep valuations that all these cloud players are trading at today. All the PaaS, SaaS, and IaaS, all the players are trading at least 20, 25, 30, 35, some even 50, 55 times sales, which are ridiculous valuation. Like DocuSign, I think, is trading at 48 times sales. Now, so that's interesting if it is priced at $7 to $8 billion, but I think it is going to skyrocket. I mean, it is going to go up maybe 2 3 times in the first 1 month. But let's watch. I mean, it is no direction to subscribe for the IPO. Now they have a high gross margins and unit economics, and longevity of the business. Data migration to cloud just kicked off and is in transition phase. We have 30 to 40 years of legacy data to be shifted to cloud, and that's a long haul. So much of work is pending. 90% of data in the world was created in the last 2 years. So that is an important factor. Every year, the amount of data created and consumed is more than the sum of all the data that is created across all the years till that date. That's an interesting factor. And so the amount of data generated and consumed will be exponential in nature in the next decade, with AI, that is artificial intelligence, 5G network coming, and digital adoption by the world. Data is going to explode, and I think Snowflake it's at the hem of the things with the right positioning. Let's wait and watch how this will translate. uh, Hope this was helpful, and thanks for staying with me.